Well, if you watched the end of our little Georgia flat fuckery adventure video, I hinted that the GMC was getting a little bit of a facelift. Hopefully by the time I get this all done, I can actually tell you why, but we'll see. But so far, we're working. I had to drag this old parts blazer I had, and I stole the front fenders off of it, a few other little pieces and parts. So I have some straighter front fenders. This one's got a small rust hole in it, but I'm hoping you really don't notice. We're not really going for a show quality job. We're going for my 50-50 job. You know, 50 feet or 50 mile an hour is going to look pretty good. Up close, maybe not so much. Good example is the doors. I just pushed them back out. They were caved in. Now they're just pushed out semi-straight. Same with this bedside that I clipped the tree at Harlan real hard with. Got it all pulled back out. Got it spot primed in a few spots where I broke through and cleaned up a really rusty roof it had. Have it all primed up. Just got done pressure washing it. So the next thing I gotta do is take some Scotch-Brite and soap and water, and we're gonna give it a good scrub to get all the dirt off of it and give it one last scuff. Then it's going back in the shop to dry. Then tomorrow, hopefully, I can tape it off. And then this weekend, the plan is get the first coat of main color on. The plan is going to be to have a couple of stripes on it too, but it's going to take a while to get that done. But we're working on it. It's not my favorite thing to do. I'm not really a body guy. I'm really not a paint guy, but I think it'll turn out good enough for what it needs to do. It's going to look good from a distance, look good in pictures. So that's where we're at right now. All right, tomorrow's the day, hopefully, if it's not raining. I got all my stuff out here. I have my respirator. I'm usually not a huge safety person, but messing with paint's a pretty bad thing. I have some grease remover. I have all my paint, which I'm just using Tractor Supply tractor paint. The only issue with it is they tell you have to wait 24 hours between coats. So that means get 2 coats on this truck is going to take me 2 days. But I'm not in too big of a hurry. So we'll see how it goes. I have my gun. It's kind of like a cheapy Harbor Freight, but it's a little bit better. I got it from TPC Global years ago and never used it. I had plans to paint my old YJ and never got around to it. So a lot of the stuff's leftovers, like this gun, these extra mixing cups, and the grease remover and all that stuff. I was going to use a regular Harbor Freight gun, the cheapy, $10 or $15 one, which we have one right down there. But then I remembered I had the other gun, which is probably a little bit better. I'm not going to tell you that it's drastically better, but it's got to be better. I did manage to get everything masked off as far as I know. All the windows, the clearance lights, the door handles, all the air lights are pulled. And I roughly masked off the core support. Not a big deal because I plan on painting the core support when I'm done. So we're about ready. In the morning, I need to wipe it all down with the wax and grease remover. Get it ready, and hopefully it's a decent day in the morning. I can back this thing out of here, close the door, and get some paint on it. So wish me luck. We'll see how it turns out. Well, there's the first coat. See what it does when it dries. I'm going to put it in the shop here in a little while to keep it out of the sun, because you don't want it to dry too quick, because it'll kind of make it act funky according to the paint company. Overall, it's not bad. I mean, obviously it's still full of dents. I'd spend a fortune and a whole bunch of time to get the dents out of it, and quite frankly the cab has got some pretty good ones in it. So overall, not looking too bad, especially since I'm really not much of a painter. I think this might actually be the first complete vehicle I've ever painted. Well, I'll take that back. I shot primer on a old GMC, a 51 GMC truck I had, just to make it all one color, but I don't know if that really counts. So far not too bad. Ended up using about a half gallon for the first coat. So I'm gonna let her dry overnight, see how dry it is in the morning, and see if I can put a second coat on tomorrow. Well, there she is, all finished up. I didn't get much video of me doing it besides the actual beginning of this, where I talked about getting ready to paint the next day. It's been extremely hot here the last couple of weeks, like over 100-degree heat index every day. So I've just been trying to get it done, and didn't really focus on the video part too much. But overall, wasn't too bad. I did get the 2 coats on it on that one weekend. On Saturday morning I did it, and then Sunday morning I got the 2nd coat on after scuffing it of the white. And then over the week I masked off first the blue, which I have about 3 hours into the masking on the blue, and shot it, I was going to say the next day after I got home from work. Of course, hot. Got that all done, and then the day after that I masked off the red, and we scuffed it and shot it the same day. It wasn't quite as extensive because the initial masking of the blue was the most work. The hardest part for the red is up on the hood. I crossed under the blue, which meant I had to mask the blue back off again as I went across and did the red. So the colors are basically Magic paint from Tractor Supply. It is a catalyzed hardened paint, but it's just oil-based enamel. But it's IH red, Ford blue, and their normal gloss white. I also got some metallic silver to paint my GMC grill back because it was faded to a white. Got that all done. New bulbs in the marker lights. And I now have the front bumper off the parts blazer cut up in 3 pieces so it fits nicer on the front here with the rub strip. So now the truck's looking more sleeperish, I guess. Very stock looking. I got that all done, and I got the sliders all painted up. I did that with a brush and Rust-Oleum semi-gloss. Did the rear bumper the same way with a brush, and I painted the inside part of the bed, the main bed floor, the same way with the brush and the Rust-Oleum. I mean, don't get me wrong, the truck does look pretty good, but it's far from show quality by any means. It's still full of dents, but it's definitely going to look good in pictures and videos and things like that. I also did get the wheel wells painted with some satin black spray paint. When I get the truck back inside the garage up on the lift, I'm going to do more painting on the axles and maybe repaint the diff covers. I also have a set of rear wheel bearings and wheel seals because they've been slinging oil for a while, and I know the bearings aren't in the best of shape. And that's about where we're at. It's all cleaned up. Oh, I do have one other thing. I have new door seals and all the window felts, which I actually got before I decided to paint the truck. So I got to put that all in, put the door panels back on. But other than that, there she is, finished product. I was a little leery about the red at first, but now that the tires are up on it, I'm really liking it. So that's where we're at, and it was a bunch of work, but I think it might be worth it. Hopefully the paint holds up.